Hi everybody, the Big Cat people talking to you from home here in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, let's just talk a little bit about becoming a photographer, because I think everybody can just go out there with their iPhone or their smartphone, any kind of phone, and take pictures. You see something, you think, right, let's capture it. Let's get a record shot. And certainly when I first picked up a proper camera, when I came overland through Africa, I didn't really know what I was doing. I had the right equipment, but I should have remembered what one photographer said, which is when asked, what equipment do you use? He said, I use my eyes, because it's all about seeing. Now, when I first came to live in the Maasai Mara in 1977, I had a camera, I had lenses, didn't have enough money to shoot color film at that point. I was shooting black and white, and I was using my pictures primarily to draw from. And the Maasai Mara is such a wonderful place, so rich in terms of subject matter, that you could pretty much point a camera anywhere, press the shutter, and get a good picture. But it wasn't really, I was sort of thinking with my zoology hat on. I was interested in animal behavior. I wanted to create or record the nuances of what the animals were doing. But I wasn't being artistic in the way I was interpreting what they were doing. And it really wasn't until I met Angie, more than 30 years ago, in the 1980s, that I began to see in the way that she saw. She saw with the eye of an artist. She wasn't prepared. She wasn't satisfied simply to record what she saw. She started to think and get me to think about, what are the images? What are you trying to capture? What are you trying to say with your photography? Because if you point your camera at a lion with regular light, yeah, it could be taken in a zoo. But if you start to understand light, and this is really how Angie opened my eyes, because I wasn't thinking about the impact that light, which is the very essence, it's the gold, it's the fuel of photography, how that actually helps to create great images. And so Angie showed me the light, and another photographer too, Hugo van Lauwijk, who was married to Jane Goodall, who took wonderful pictures of Jane's work in Gombe Stream. Hugo understood light. I remember opening his book, Savage Paradise, and seeing pictures and just thinking, my goodness, what would I could given just to see that, let alone photograph it. And he had a lot of pictures, which is the way Angie photographs, with the light coming from the side or even behind the subject. So backlit, behind the subject, sidelit, the light coming from the side, as opposed to me, who was really quite happy to have the sun come straight over my shoulder. And what did I get? I got very flat looking images. There was no sense of modeling, no sense of sculpture. If you look at black and white portraiture and you look and study the angle where the light was coming from, and this is what's so important, when you look at other people's work, think to yourself, what kind of light was it? What was the photographer thinking? Where were they standing? What options did they have to actually compose their picture? And so that sense of light, that sense of seeing, because that's what it is. We're visual creatures. Our sight is our primary sense. And the joy of photography is seeing the world through our own images, but also through other people's images. And I always say, you know, photography is a very selfish pursuit. One person behind a camera, desperately trying to grab the moment that they've seen. And then, yes, happy to share the proceeds of their work later. But the beauty is to be generous and to look at other people's work with an open heart and celebrate the way they see the world. Because we all see differently. Yes, we've hopefully both, or all of us, got two eyes to see with, but the brain interprets what we see with everything that we have lived up to this moment, with all our experiences and emotions, with all the things that we've done and seen. So if I take a picture of a dog, and I love dogs, and I haven't had bad experiences with dogs, I'll look at that picture with a sense of companionship and joy. Somebody else who's actually had a bad time with dogs might look at the dog and think, oh, I don't like dogs. So the interpretation is in the eye of the beholder. Now, Angie also showed me not to be satisfied with just going out there, because it's very easy, especially somewhere like the Mara, you know, where we go on safari month after month, to photograph the great migration of wildebeest and zebras, to go to the Rua crossings, to immerse ourselves in the marsh pride, or search for half-tail or zawadi, the leopards, back in the day. And Angie will always say to us, okay, what's the plan? And the plan is not just, well, let's go out and photograph the migration. The plan is what is in your mind? What are you visualizing before you even pick up your camera as to the objective of what you're going to go and do out there? You're not going to just drive around in your car and react when you see something. You're going to go out there with a purpose, just like in life, having a purpose. For us, Sacred Nature, our latest book. Now, the creation of images that Angie made for that particular book, a lot of them black and white. She loves the simplicity, the complexity, too, of the black and white image. No colors to distract you, just mood and atmosphere. As a kid, she had her own darkroom under the stairs at home, and she would spend hours burning, bringing out particular parts of the picture by adapting the amount of light that she gave to the print. And so having a purpose, thinking ahead, thinking in your head, like today. I went out early in the morning, I looked at some of the flowers and the trees and things, and I thought to myself, there's some beautiful details for macro photography here, but not now. The light was indifferent. Wait till the light gets better. What do we mean by that? When it's soft and warm, early in the morning, late in the evening, when there's atmosphere, when the light comes from the side or silhouettes the subject in backlight. So all of these things came about really from Angie saying to me, it's not good enough to just go out there with your camera and wait for something to happen. You need to be going out there with a sense of purpose, with a mission, with a project. Build a portfolio, portraits, double-page spreads, details, bits of droppings, animal tracks, a flower with just little bits of diamond glow from rainfall. All of the details which help to give you a complete picture of what it is that you're fascinated in at that particular point in time. So pick up your camera, or always have your camera, whether it's your phone, whether it's a Canon, whether you're out there. Be sure to keep looking for that decisive moment when it all comes together and you say, yes, that's the picture I envisaged. Okay, great talking to you. And remember, check out our Instagram, Theramina Collective. You'll find all our best fine art prints and lots to enjoy, something to put on your wall, and with a percentage of the profits going to organizations that we support, such as the Cheetah Conservation Fund and, of course, our very own Sacred Nature. All the best. Bye-bye.